Hi. Oh my goodness. This has been coming to me over and over to make this video. So, it's time. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. I've been through a lot of things. And I guess I'm here to tell my story because life is a choice. It really is. And for so many years, I myself was in that ego-based, afraid of everything type, not willing to try things because I was afraid of failing, because I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think that I was worthy enough. So many things that were untrue. They are all untrue. And that's what I have discovered. And it's amazing to me that in the end, we can point fingers. I've pointed fingers in the past. I admit I am not perfect, and I am not by any means a pro at this. But I have learned a lot of things along the way. Now, first and most importantly is that I was holding myself back. Me. Because I took in what other people thought, what other people said, even if it wasn't anything that was out there really. But I basically let other people control me. That's basically what's happened my whole life. And it wasn't that and I'm not trying to say that anybody was controlling me by any means, but because of the beliefs that I had learned from a very young age, that is what I thought. I always knew different things, and I always wanted them to not be true, because some of those things were not good things, but they ended up being true anyways. I was just in denial, and because I had been hurt so much in my life. Dang flies, I'm outside. There's grasshoppers and flies all over here. But anyways, starting out, and I hold no blame of anybody. I hold no judgment of anybody. There are facts, and that's just what they are. That's what happened. They were experiences that I've had that shaped me into the person that I am now, and I am so thankful for every single one of those experiences. Have I felt like my heart was ripping out? Absolutely. And it sucked. Oh my gosh, it really did. And I don't even know where to start, but I think I'll just start from when I was a kid. So basically, I think I've never felt fully loved and accepted. And that stemmed from my parents, and how I was treated. And, it just, I always felt like I was resented because I was there. My mother had gotten pregnant with my dad, and he had issues and things, and was very abusive. So I don't know. Oh, this cough. Oh, I'm glad to be back in the clear air. So, but yeah, that's just how I went through life feeling. And then, after that, I was sexually molested by an uncle of mine. Yeah, I'm not holding anything back. His name's Larry Scott. He lives down in California somewhere. So, it's one of those things that I felt so dirty. I felt so unclean, like I shouldn't be around anybody else, that I just wanted to be invisible. And that is kind of where things kind of changed for me. I wasn't that fun who I am now, finally, after I unburied all that crap, But that's kind of when it started to change. And, that's when fear crept in. And, who was supposed to be protecting me? Adults, people bigger than me. I mean, I was probably 3 years old. And then, I don't know, probably I was like 8, 9, somewhere around in there, is when my father started to sexually molest me. My mother worked at night, and she was working as a waitress at night, and that's what she did. And I was told I couldn't tell anybody, nobody would believe me, all the horrible things. And I believed it because that's my parent, right? You're supposed to believe them. They're supposed to have your best interest at heart. They are there to protect you. But I never had that. I had a mother that I know she never got that herself. And I know that our world has been mixed up and bad for quite a while. I know that that's also changing because people are learning to love. People are learning to reconnect and not hide things and sweep things under the rug. Yeah, and also, when I was about 11, my dad had drove his truck through our house, through our living room. I was in the house with my little brother, Jeremy, and I had called 911, and then, of course, that was all throughout school, and again, more of that just down, 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 what do? Kids talking, making fun of you. I mean, I was called Debbie Grace is the disgrace of the human race. Yeah. I actually talked to the person that had started that, or one of them. Well, I talked to one of my bullies when I went to my 30th high school reunion, and that was so liberating to actually talk to the people. But, everything that's happened with my dad, and that was awful. That was horrendously awful. That should never be done to another person. Ever, ever, ever. I did confront my dad on that. I did talk to him. Of course, he tried to deflect and talk about, something else, but I remained firm, even though it was scary as hell, and said what I needed to say. And I forgave him. Forgiveness. Who knew it could be so freaking easy? I've also talked with my mom, and back to my mom. It's that they never had that love and affection. I think the same situation happened with my grandmother and my grandfather, and my mother was there, and my grandmother always was really critical of her, and which made her really critical of herself, and therefore really critical of me. And I unfortunately did not catch that quick enough because, unfortunately, I passed it on to my daughters. And for that, I can only hope and pray that they realize that I didn't get it. I did not love myself or respect myself or really care. We care about ourselves, but not to the degree that we are fully accepting of who we are And getting rid of all of that hurt from when we were kids, or hurt from any past relationships, or hurt from anything. And because what I did is I learned I did not want to get hurt. I shoved all that down into a little bitty box. Well, I also got married when I was 18. I skipped over a little bit of history there, and in between there was also there was a rape in there, involved with 2 guys at the same time. So, life's been pretty crappy. Life's been trying to really bring me down, but you know what? Life is a choice. We all have a choice every single moment to either fully live right there in that moment or dwell in the past. Dwelling in the past brings on depression. I know, I've been there. The past is great to reflect on, but we don't want to live there. Look at this world we live in. I mean, I don't know. I want everybody to feel the happiness and joy of just being here, not worrying about tomorrow, worrying about tomorrow and the future and having expectations of how things should be is what brings us anxiety. The world lives in anxiety. I also used to live there. No longer, because I live right here, right now. Life is fabulous. So, recently, a lot of people still will try to bring me down. I won't allow it. I have reclaimed, as should you and every single soul on this planet, reclaim your power. Nobody, and I mean nobody, nothing, zilch, can make you feel anything unless you choose to let it trigger you and to make you feel it. I've learned that well. That's still a struggle. I still struggle every day, even though I have awakened so much and so much. Things just really make sense. And life is for living. Life is for enjoying. Life is, it's incredibly amazing. Now that I figured it out, there's the key. Figuring it out. Yeah, that was a tough one. But once those epiphanies hit, oh my gosh. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? It was that easy? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. But you can't be hard on yourself because you had no idea. We live in a world in which our reality is all around us, but our reality changes. What we believe, we can achieve. We are unlimited. Unlimited. I'm not even kidding you. And you can do anything you want to do. You put your mind to it, it will happen. If it is meant to be yours, it is always yours. Always. I know that. You don't have to try to control it. You don't have to try to push it in somewhere. It just, I used to control a lot, believe me. Ask my daughter. And I don't think I was that bad, but because I was conscious of it, still. If I was back then who I am now, holy heck. Holy heck. But I know that I wasn't ready. However, again, on that note, looking back to, like I said, I had been married for 30 years. I got married when I was 18. And Morgan was my soulmate, without a doubt. And we have many soulmates on the planet. But anyways, I'm not getting into all that. I'm talking about me. So, anyways, I was married for 30 years. I changed. I didn't want to sit on the couch and watch TV anymore. I wanted to get out and live. Since I have left that marriage back on March 18th of 2017, my life has been so freaking amazing. I've done so many things that would have never been possible if I didn't take that first scary step and asked him, what are we going to do about this? Because this with us is not working. We should be happy, not unhappy. And we were both very unhappy. So when I brought that up and, suggested separation, divorce came out of his mouth. So it's like, okay, if that's what you want. Well, I do what I say and say what I mean. And I am 100% authentic in who I am. And so when I say things, I do them. Like, I moved out of the house. My daughter and I, actually both my daughters. My oldest daughter, Felicia, is not talking to me, and that's fine. When she's on her own journey, and she'll figure it out when she figures it out. I am sad that I have not met my youngest grandson, Morgan, and also sad that I have not been able to keep up with Jack, because we're all connected. But again, her choice, her life. She wasn't talking to me then. My other daughter, Danielle, we've been up and down and back and forth and all around, and there's some intense emotions. Danielle is such a good girl, as is Felicia. That's not what I'm here about. There's just so much that I've gone through, and it's like I've kept it all in because I've just been working on myself and getting balanced and just at peace, loving myself fully, non-judgmental, accepting with compassion and love, as it is my greatest hope that everybody gets to this point. It really is. But anyways, my youngest daughter, Danielle, was very angry with me, and she did not want to stay in the house if I stayed there. So I did leave the house so that she and my grandkids would have a place to stay. I moved into a little fifth wheel out in Gold Hill, right along the river. It was beautiful, gorgeous. I loved it. The space was really small. It was about the size of my closet, and but it was mine. It was my first own place ever in my life, my own. At 47 years old, I had never been on my own. So I never really knew who I was. So I had left that. I had moved out. I had talked to a friend of mine, and I guess her husband had made the comment about she did. And I said, yeah, I don't say things I'm not going to do. You know, I know who I am now. But even before, when I'd say something, I'd get it done. Because that is, well, maybe I may have missed a few things, but you know, the big, huge things I'm talking about, like moving out, that's pretty huge. Especially after living with somebody for 32 years. Yes, we had been together since 1986. So I moved into that place, and things were going good there. Oh, right after I moved into that place, I went to Hawaii. What? Yes, I went to Oahu. Had no place to stay because the plans that I had, see, this is how things roll in my life. You know, it's like, am I going to melt down, or are you going to buck up and get through it? There's the difference. So yeah, I went to Hawaii. The place I was going to stay at, I found out the day before I was due to leave that it was no longer available. Called the airlines, considered canceling, and didn't. Thought, what the hell? I have a rental car. I didn't sleep in the car. But, you know, I'm going to Hawaii. And sure as heck, I did. I got there. I used Airbnb for the first time. I stayed in Pearl City and Mililani? Yes, they had a farmer's market. It was very cool. I loved it. After that, I found this amazing beachfront property in Makaha. And I took it for $30 a night in a studio apartment with an artist, Nicole, which was awesome, and Brutus, which is why I chose it, because Brutus is, I have a Brutus at home, or I did. He's still with Morgan, and I miss him every day, but yeah, anyways. So it was a studio apartment, and I had the top bunk. Brutus had the futon, and Nicole slept on the bed underneath. It was quite an adventure, because I didn't really have anybody to hang out with over there, and she was doing her own painting thing, and she showed me Tinder. I had never been on that before. Oh my gosh. It was fun. I ended up swiping, and oh my gosh. Yeah, anyways, it was a little overwhelming, to say the least. I did end up talking with 6 different guys over there, and was very upfront. I'm not looking for anything. I am just looking to hang out, period. I put that right on my post. And I ended up meeting 6 of them. And actually my first one, we went, that was actually the first time I tried sushi in Hawaii at, I don't know, some fancy Straiko sushi place in Waikiki, but it was pretty awesome. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun meeting people, you know, everything was all platonic and great, and I loved it. And then I got back to Oregon. And totally spaced out on the whole Twitter thing. I mean, I don't know about this not Twitter, Tinder. Tinder, that's what it was, Tinder. Yeah, and then I get an instant message from this guy, Barry. You know, we had a friend in common. So, you know, and I saw his profile on there, but anyways, yeah. Great lesson learned there. And allowed me to stand up for myself, because, yeah, he wasn't a good guy. Found that out a little too late, but, you know, hey, we all learn. I learn very quickly, which has always been a great benefit to me. Um, I know I skip around here. That's kind of how my mind works, so kind of bear with me. You can always rewind and catch up to that other spot, I guess. um, but going back to the mobile that I lived in Gold Hill, because I'd walk down to the river, Tillamook Falls, almost every day. Not every day, but almost. Had this feeling somebody was going at my place. Long story short, set up a camera. Sure enough, my landlord, Valerie, was going in to my place, going through my stuff. She took me to court. She lost because she was wrong. See, people get in their ego and they think they're right, but they're not. You can't go into other people's places and go through their stuff. That's not okay. I also mentioned that I got divorced after 30 years. So, yeah, that was supposed to happen last September. And then my former husband got a lawyer that pushed it all the way out to March 29th, that we went before the judge. His lawyer and I, me against the judge, or not the judge. The judge moderated. It was me against the lawyer and my former husband. Yeah, I won that one too. You know, good happens to good people, and that's just the way it works. Most recently, helping my daughter, who had, I skipped out a whole bunch of stuff. Let me back up a little bit here. So after I moved out of that mobile, because my landlord was going in there and I won, but I'm not going to stay there with that. So I started living in my truck, got my membership at Planet Fitness, and I got a storage unit. I moved everything into storage, except for some things in my truck, and there I was on the road in my truck. Yeah, even my license plate, or not my license plate, my driver's license, because I had to renew it while I was homeless. Yes, I was homeless for almost a year. Actually, it was a little more than a year. A year and a month. Anyways. I do that and then I forget what I'm talking about, but it eventually comes back if it was important. Oh yeah, living out my memberships and everything on my you know, it was a hard time. I'd never lived in my truck. I've never been homeless in my life, ever, until April 1st of 2018. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. My driver's license. It says I live at Talent Rest Stop. I'd have a physical address, and when you don't have one, that's what works. So, yeah, that's where I would stay sometimes. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I always felt safe there. And as a matter of fact, I feel safe everywhere because I know that I'm safe. I know that that I'm safe and I'm protected. I know this. There were a few months in there when it got oh man, there were a few months in there where I stayed with some friends. Arden, you are a gem and I love you. You have such a huge heart. Thank you. while it was smoky. She allowed me to stay in her little studio, which I am so appreciative of. And I loved what you did with the place. I loved that the sky was painted up there. You had the mountains and the sun and the moon, and the glow in the dark stars on the ceiling are the most awesome thing ever. And when I find that stuff, I'm gonna paint my ceiling because it's awesome. I'm leaving a lot out. A lot have to do with they have to do with me, really. It's me, but my person. I am so incredibly grateful. You have no idea how blessed I feel to be living this life. I never, in my wildest dreams, well, maybe wildest, but anyways, imagine that life could be so amazing, joyful. That's how I would describe my life, joyful. And you know, my resume, the first line of my resume says, I'm a ray of sunshine, because you know what? I put me on that resume, not any forms that people say this is how it needs to be, because you know what? In the end, that's me. And if I don't jive with that, it's not going to work. But I really don't apply to places unless I really want to work there, unless they're really in tune with me. And yeah, I mean, I've gone I think if you want to, well, I don't know, I've said a whole bunch of stuff already, but really what it comes down to is I want you to know you're not alone. That's really what it comes down to. You are not alone. Because you know what? The way that I felt as a kid, even as an adult, growing up with all these problems that I have, I thought I was the only one. I know now I am not the only one. So I want you to know you are not the only one. You are not alone. There's others just like me that have gone through the same things. And we're all okay. You can be okay too. You really can. And if you are okay, then that's great. Some people are exactly happy where they are. But if you ever wonder if there's more, there is. But only you have the power to grab it. You have to take that leap of faith, that step, kick fear to the curb. Oh, I was telling you about some of the things I had gone on, and one of the most remarkable, I would have to say, I jumped out of a plane. Yes, me. I'll post that video. I jumped out of a plane, and it was freaking awesome. I think I'm about done talking, because I'm about my throat is anyways, I love you. And know that you are worthy. You are. You are enough. You have every single thing inside of you. You have the answers. Listen to that intuition. Listen to those feelings in your body. Those pains that have come up, that are there. That's your soul screaming out for you to be true and authentic to yourself. It has nowhere else to go. Wishing you all love, light, peace, compassion, authenticity. Well, there I am. And that's not all of it, but hey, I think that is a good chunk. Anyways, life is good.